Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Low Ink January 2026. I am Cater, joined here by my lovely co-commentator Spicy. It is the start of round 4, our halfway point in day 1, our Swiss groups here. I'm joined here today by my lovely co-commentator Spicy. How you doing?
Doing good, Cater. Doing good. Yeah, great matchup here. Kick off the second half of Low Ink Day 1. Two groups, 2-1 so far. Octo Eclipse stand by. I talked a little bit about them before we went live again. And hey, at this point in the tournament, at this point on day 1, it's really just about mattering how are you going to do in the last few rounds. You're going to punch your ticket into one of those brackets for day 2. You're going to try and get any more momentum here. Really just see what's going to be the moments going into the second half.
You're absolutely right, and for those unfamiliar with how Low Ink works, we've got our first day being 6 Swiss rounds, and each one of those maps matters, each one of those games, because even if you lose the set, going 2-1 benefits you more than going going 1-2 benefits you more than going 0-3. So every game matters in the end of the day placements because those determine your placements in an alpha, beta, gamma brackets that we have on day 2. Like you said, both of these teams are sitting 2-1 right now with their sets. I believe Standby here, our 80th seed, performing above their seed, winning, believe against. Looks like Yai, which was seed 52 here, but we're going to load into our first match, Rainmaker on Undertow Spillway. Take a look at these comps here. Ooh, we've got interesting combination with the custom Explosher and the heavy edit Splatling there.
Yeah, that was immediately one of the first things I saw from the side of Octo Eclipse. Anami with the Expo, Lin there with the heavy edit, really just kind of seeing that like extra really long range there. They have the V-Shot as well as the Wiper to kind of counteract that. So kind of playing the extremes here. Standby, on the other hand, that was going to take this opening team fight already and to see if they're going to be able to pick up Rainmaker, now trying to make that push over onto the left side here, seeing what else they're going to be able to do now that they got opening position here in the first 30.
Octo trying to threaten the pencil here, but Pink NB is completely secure. A cooler does go out. The Rainmaker is able to take that up. Threats from the Wiper here coming in from the right side. As you can see, Anami here on the Explosher is coming back with the splashdown, trying to threaten the Rainmaker, finding themselves alone and without too much paint here, helping in the 2v1 there, but going down. Maze here also going down quickly after that, and the Rainmaker with the 3 down on the side of Octo Eclipse very quickly goes to that first checkpoint. Yellow on the mini Splatling, putting down a lot of that paint in front of it. And it looks like we're not going to pick up immediately after waiting out the specials here, especially the splashdown from the Exploser, who's going to try and get up close and personal to use that. Doesn't find anybody, looking for a little bit chip damage, but goes down, and with that 3 down again, Yellow using the hammer to pave the way to the checkpoint. The missiles, though, coming in and taking out the Rainmaker at 7 remaining.
Yeah, and it's such a great position here for Standby. They're going to try and pop this bubble if possible, but you see all this Octo Eclipse just able to collapse then on defense, able to put a stop to what Standby was doing here, and pretty much at the 11th hour with 7 and having pretty much all the position in the world. Standby has an awesome lead already to their name. Octo Eclipse here, seeing what they're going to be able to do. They haven't really been able to get onto any offensive pushes. Standby's had the momentum the entire time, but let's see what they're going to be able to do now.
We had that cooler pop for Octo Eclipse. It was a bit far back, so Octo here wasn't able to pick it up, and doesn't look like too many other players were able to either. The Wiper is currently the one holding, which means they don't have as much of that short-range fighting power, and with Anami going down that Explosher again, they're kind of just stuck in this back corner here as the members of Standby are slowly taking back their own territory and encroaching. Pink NB is threatened by the Inkzuka, but 2 members, including that Rainmaker, go down, and Anami is very quickly isolated on the side of Octo Eclipse, going down to this Dreadringer here who has the Reef Slider at the ready, so Standby is just going to come in, pick this up again, and get a cooler to boot. They are in a very good position to just continue this aggression despite the very good lead that they already have.
They just want to keep adding the pressure on. Best defense is just a really strong offense in their philosophy, and even if they do lose their pencil, they still have this numbers advantage. You look at this comp, and it's just a really strong fighting comp overall. Jared on that Dreadringer especially, been putting a lot of work there for their side on Standby, and here they are now. They're just able to stall this out here. The Reef Slider finally gets popped. That's been held for a long time. Finds a great opportunity as Jared and the rest of Standby just gonna see if they're gonna be able to put any more finishing touches on this push. Yellow here with the Rainmaker positioning it forward. You see Carly there trying to get that pick now onto the Rainmaker. Hasn't been able to find Yellow just yet, and it gets stopped out in the process. Great stuff here from Standby overall.
Yellow is in the single digits of seconds left, and so they're just isolating themselves so they don't kill the rest of their teammates with that explosion, as finally they explode. And unfortunately, they do take out Maze, so I didn't fully call it correctly. That is 2 down with the splashdown to come and help pop the Rainmaker. I want to point out the Wiper on Octo Eclipse has been, Akai here has been putting in a lot of work and good picks here, avoiding right now the Rainmaker, not the Rainmaker, Threadbringer on the side of Jared, unfortunately going down there. We're just back in mid right now with Standby defending their territory, popping a cooler and Octo Eclipse again, really trying to get back out into mid, but though more than half the match has passed, they still don't have any points on the board. Standby is just not letting them pass this mid line.
Yeah, Octo Eclipse finally getting onto the board here, and they find this 2 down. They're gonna go in right checkpoint just to get that early on here. Things have suddenly gotten real interesting now in this final minute. Both checkpoints off the board here at Octo Eclipse. They know they just have to get one opportunity to maybe get a push, but you saw the Threadbringer have that reslider. You see Yellow with the hammer, all those specials coming out now from the side to stand by. 45 seconds left to go here as well. Rainmaker still kind of pushed up here as Octo Eclipse going 2 down here as the Rainmaker resets.
And Standby again at this advantage with the cooler directly inside of the Rainmaker. 30 seconds left. Honestly, it kind of looks like they could just chill with the Rainmaker as it is. Losing the Threadbringer does make it a little bit more difficult. The missiles coming out as well. That is a lot of turf inked for Octo Eclipse in our last fight of the game. Octo Eclipse has a very high bar to clear. We're going to see the splashdown come out, the cooler come out as well. 2 down on the side of Standby. This is exactly what we need. But the Zuka getting popped just a little early, and Yellow managing to take this and just slip right out. So now it's stuck in that corner with Octo going down and Maze guarding the Rainmaker, going down to a bomb there. We are trying to see the Wiper get the pick here. They are able to come and pick up that Rainmaker. We will see over time as Octo Eclipse brings this over to the right side. You can see Pink Envy, though, has a very good sightline, as well as Maze and Yellow working their way up to the Rainmaker. It is going to take a miracle for Octo Eclipse to bring this home.
Yeah, it really is here. They lose one of their members down in the process. Aka right now just trying to stall this out as much as they can here. Jump coming in, but they haven't really been able to get any progress so far. Going just now a little bit of a split path here, just watching this map, seeing what they're going to be able to do. Though not really putting a lot of pressure on Standby here, as Octo Eclipse is trying to find any opening here, but Standby ain't able to find the opening of their own. Go up 1 game here in this round 4 set.
And what a dominant game for Standby, especially even from just the get-go. We saw Yellow pop that hammer and get the hammer snipe, and that really set the tone, especially for that opening, I think. I mean, on that first push, they got all the way up to 7, and from then, they just realized that their win condition was, well, not letting Octo Eclipse get there, and that's exactly what they did. We had a couple of, good moments, attempted team plays from Octo Eclipse, but in the end, they just weren't able to get the same pressure that Standby was able to mobilize.
Yeah, I really love the pressure, as you mentioned, from Standby overall. Like, defensive pressure especially. Like, it was so hard for Octo Eclipse to really get anything going for, like, the majority of that game. Not really getting any points until that last minute there, when they were able to get that checkpoint. But there was something about, like, Standby's positioning just pretty much the entire time, where both on the offensive end, always being sure that they're giving their pathway for their Rainmaker carrier, as well as just being able to, on defense, just really pretty much just outpaint Octo Eclipse the entire time there. Real great stuff, especially from a team like Standby, who wasn't running a traditional shooter on that comp at all. So really able to just like maximize with their picks, control the entire map, and it was just great stuff overall. Seeing what's going to happen next going into game 2, which will be Tower Control Mako.
Yeah, so this one a little bit slower paced possibly than Rainmaker, depending on how far ahead of the tower these teams decide to go. I predict that, like most other tower control games, it is going to be that second checkpoint that is so important, especially you have so many defensive angles that you can take on that checkpoint, but it can get really, really difficult if the other team gets a special or a long-range weapon on that tower. And speaking of specials, I honestly want to see more use and coordination from both of these teams. I feel like I've been seeing the coolers, and we saw, an impactful reef slider, but other than that, there hasn't been a huge amount of cohesion that I can see between the use of specials and, like, the movement of the actual players. Like, we saw some Zukas get popped in the last one, but they kind of felt more like one-offs rather than driving forces to initiate or actually assist a push that was going on. I want to see more goal-oriented special use.
Oh yeah, I think that's really pivotal, especially if you're looking from Octo Eclipse. Maybe that's going to be helpful for potential win conditions here, at least just able to win out in neutral as well. Couple weapon swaps here from these teams as well. So really highlighting Octo now on the T-Tech there for the shot there instead of just V-shot. So you are going to be seeing those ink strikes there. Just maybe a little bit of displacement here to help out, get rid of Standby's positioning here, which has been so strong. But here off in this opening neutral fight, just a matter of seeing who's going to be able to strike first here. Octo Eclipse doing a great job of just being able to really prevent Standby from doing anything at this point. You see that Reslider already charged up, 2 specials already saved for him. Standby as well as that core. They're pushing up and a splashdown coming through just to get punished out by the Reslider.
Yeah, splashdown Reef-Slider interaction can be a little bit silly, and in a lot of cases that Reef-Slider is going to win out here. Jared going for the pick on the side. Cry having to fight in this 2v1, unfortunately. And I wanted to point out we saw Maze, in true card roller fashion, go around and look for a flank pick at the beginning here. They did get one before getting caught out, but that doesn't matter now as they are already on the rampage, getting a pick on Lin here, going for another on a Cry, unfortunately going down before they can do anything with that Inkzuka, but that is still down. 2 down on Octo Eclipse, 3 down on Standby as Jared on that the Reef-Slider Dread, the last one alive. A Cry trying to get the Hammer Snipe. That is another weapon swap that we had swapped from the Rust Wiper to the Vanilla Wiper. So we've got Torpedo and Hammer there, which I think might just be a response to the very strong hammers that we saw from Yellow in the last game.
I think that's a great call out there as well. Now, matter of seeing what's Octo Eclipse going to be able to do here. They are able to score here in the first 90 seconds. They do go 2 down, but the 2 down process from everyone here at this point. 3 down now on both sides. It is just Jared, and it is just the shot up from the side of Octo Eclipse here as well, or Octo 2.0 in particular. And now here we are back in this almost neutral point. Octo Eclipse had 9 points there on the board. Tower is back into this middle point here as well. It's just a lot of firefighting going on the entire time so far. Pick for pick so far. No team will be able to establish an advantage here so far in neutral.
I want to say, though, Maze is consistently able to get those picks. They went around for a flank again, got one before they got called out. If they can do that a little bit faster, continuously get those picks, that could be huge and game-turning for Standby. Not that they necessarily need it, as they are in a, again, very good position right here with the Jared almost having that Reef-Slider, being coolered as well. Getting on top of this flat position is going to be very useful, but the Reef-Slider, whoa, hello. Okay, that was some interesting ledge interaction there, because it looked like they fell and then they got back. Anyway, they're able to trade with the other slosher on the map. Maze here with the Zuka going back up. This looks like a good spot to pop, but they just need a target first.
Yeah, Octo Eclipse kind of spread out at this moment here, so nowhere here for Maze to really fire off that Zuka. 2 down now from the side of Standby and both sides here now as well. Tower still once again going to go back into this neutral state. Great stuff here for Standby overall. Able to keep pushing this tower at least forward or not let Octo Eclipse get anything going here in these last 2 minutes. Splashdown once again coming out here from Anami, and now it's a matter of seeing with these 2 minutes to go. They have the cooler ready. We're looking for that special cohesion potentially, as you mentioned before this next game, and a couple of massive picks so far from the side of Octo Eclipse here. Just trying to put a stop over onto this tower as Standby is still not able to crack the second check.
Huge work coming out from Anami there. Jared, though, managing to live through that fight, hiding out behind this stack here from the arcing shots of the X-Slosher, using their own arcs, in fact, to assist with the picks from their teammates. Gonna go all the way around here, and they're taking a very, very aggressive position along with Maze, able to get that pick. I mean, this is just deathmatch at this point for Standby as they are getting another pick here. We have the Reef-Slider. This is a huge position if Jared is able to get this down. Oh, but it gets canceled! And what could have been absolutely massive does go down. Despite this, though, Standby is continuing to push the tower. They do go 3 down, though, and so this gives Octo Eclipse a huge chance, especially now that they have the cooler from the Zap as opposed to the heavy edit. That covers a lot of ground very, very quickly. And you see, the hammer coming out on the side there as well, and Nami looking for somewhere to get picks. Cry doesn't get anything off of the hammer snipe, and Maze gets 1 pick and goes down yet again. That's another 3 down situation, so if Octo Eclipse can take control of this flat area up top here, now going down to the Reef-Slider! Oh! Jared managing to live through that somehow.
Yeah, Jared able to kind of put a stall here for Octo Eclipse's hopes just to get this checkpoint going. They're finally at this first check, and Octo Eclipse is doing such a great job of being able to win out on these team fights here, but Standby now once more time, able to get this back into neutral, just trying to push it back into mid, make it even harder for Octo Eclipse to really get anything going here in the last 30 seconds, maybe potential overtime as well, but it's all a matter of seeing with these last 15 to go, what are the options here, and seeing what can Octo Eclipse do to just get back on the tower, or at least force an overtime situation.
Yeah, but we've got two specials at the ready from standby. Even if they do get on, it's going to be very hard to continue that. And I believe that is all members that had a chance of getting at the tower going down. So time-wise, unfortunately, Octo Eclipse is not able to make it to the tower to try and initiate overtime. That is our second game to standby. That is a lot of map control as well.
Yeah, the map control, that's always been something I highlighted from like standby, both in game one and in game two, where they're just able to just have all this paint control, make it hard for Octo Eclipse to really get anywhere going there on the map. And it's been a big part of their gameplay overall, where standby hasn't had like really a knockout opportunity since like early in game one, but ever since they've just been able to like, hey, we'll just control, we'll play the long game, we know what our win conditions are, even if it does take the entire 5 minutes. And so far the game plan's been working. That's another set win to their name as well. Still gonna play out this game three, because as you mentioned before, every game, every set does matter.
Now, I do really hope that Octo Eclipse has at least talking about how to deal with this carbon, right? Because especially when the rest of the team has so much painting power, it just gets so much more difficult to deal with the carbon, because you always have to be aware of where they are. And with Maze, even if they do get traded out and they only get the one pick, that is still enough to bring a lot of pushes to a screeching halt, or at the very least tamper that momentum a little bit, which is really what you want, especially when you're on that defensive side that standby has been for the huge majority of these games. Maze being able to come in and disrupt whatever plans or whatever momentum or whatever resources that Octo Eclipse is trying to bring together to create a push is really disrupting Octo Eclipse's ability to get onto that objective in an organized fashion that is on their own terms.
Oh, definitely, yeah, and I'm real interested to see how that translates going into Clamblitz Scorch Gorge, where you have a player like Maze from the side of Standby, who's really kind of just able to direct the entire attention of the enemy team just onto them, which does leave pretty much the rest of their teammates just have free reign to paint the map, get those clams, and then eventually find like openings to get those scoring chances there, especially when you have like Mace, who has a lot more speed, a lot more movement, able to get towards the basket relatively easier than their teammates. So from the side of Octo Eclipse, a lot of it is going to be what's the counterplay going into this. They've known that they're interested in expressing some like weapon changes, at least with the kits as well. So here we are going into this now, seeing what's going to be the next options here in this last game.
Well, we got the Vanilla Explosion coming out. That is bringing Inkstorm and Point Sensor, both of which are great area control tools to deal directly with that carbon. I wonder if that is why they switch. Lin is bringing back that heavy edit instead of the zap for a little bit more long range, and I think that's definitely fair going to Scorch, where you have the grates, you have the tower. Getting either one of those longer range weapons set up on that tower can be very, very beneficial. And of course, Standby is thinking the same thing for Pink Envy on that pencil, which looks like it's working out for now, as Octo Eclipse goes 2 down in the opening, where Standby loses Maze on the carbon. Yellow going very, very aggressive, looking for the hammer snipe as well. Doesn't quite find it, but it's just slowly pushing Anami back and gets even the pick before Octo 2.0 swings in and finishes that interaction. But the damage is done. There is already yellow paint around the basket of Octo Eclipse, and Octo is forced to back up. Well, backs up all the way here, probably looking for those strikes. But even then, giving up all of that area means that Standby is able to get the first toss of clams into the basket.
Yeah, and Standby, knowing that they got the first score already, can now kind of sit pretty here. That's pretty much the entire game plan here. Get that first score and then play defense and start chipping away at these remaining points. Or they're just going to get another big push like they did in game one and see how much further they're going to be able to take it here. Already at the 56, couple clams still on board here as well, as they're funneling them in. Already now at the 50 as well. And there's such a lot of great pressure overall from this Standby positioning. Able to just funnel away at these points, as well as make it so difficult. Octo Eclipse can't really navigate towards the enemy basket as well, and there's really not much you're able to do at this point. Standby is able to set up the core, the basket finally closes, but it's all the way to the 26 when it does so.
Push ending at 26, and there is still a huge amount of presence from Maze, getting 2 picks right up on that ramp before going down, and Yellow following up on that, getting another pick on Octo 2.0, and it's just like that, another basket is created, is thrown up to sorry?
I have no idea what has just happened here. As you see, look at
Yeah,
Standby
so I
has
just
done.
they,
So wow.
That is maybe the fastest rebound from a team that has already created a push that I have seen, especially here in low ink. I mean, we do see Octo Eclipse to pick up that pity clamp, so now they have two, but being able to rebound that quickly, it was almost as if all of the effort that Octo Eclipse put into getting Standby out of their basket didn't happen, and Standby just kind of had a really long push. And look at them again, they have the special of the Reflyer, they have a ball. Octo Eclipse is kind of just forced to continuously defend and defend again. It's like Standby, like I think they heard you that comment on the previous game, the best defense is a good offense.
Really, at this point, yeah, and they're living by that entire time as well. Octo Eclipse, like, it's been hard for them to just get any type of points going so far. They set up nicely. They have some clams rotating in as well. It's just a matter of can they at least get towards the basket as well, because there's a lot of this yellow-orange here on this map already from Standby once again. And we're already at the point where it's less than 2 minutes into the game. Octo Eclipse now trying to see what they're going to be able to do. They use the strikes now as a way to just help paint this map here in mid, but the clam economy has went so far now in favor of Standby. 2 power clams already at the ready.
A lot of juggling happening here, and we do have the power clam that Lin is carrying right now. Standby is making moves to try and take out the members of Octo Eclipse, but the rain is coming out a little bit in the wrong direction. I think they wanted that to go over mid in the ramp area that they're trying to push up towards. You can see Akrai is trying to do something, but Maze is up on the top here, threatening, and Nami does get taken out. That's 2 down on the side of Standby. Only their clam carriers remaining. They just have to get Pink NB off of that position. Right now, that is the real issue here. And here come the strikes. This is exactly what I was talking about. Specials towards a goal, managing to displace Pink Envy there, hopefully long enough, but Maze has something to say about that as Octo 2.0 goes down, surrounded, and Yellow is back as well, leaving Lin and Anami alone with the power clams.
Yeah, the Standby defensive rotation has been impeccable up to this point here, and they're going to translate that defense into potential offense here as well. Jared now positioning real far up. 3 down from Octo Eclipse. Basket opens, followed up by the Reef Slider, and here comes the jumps. And with all these picks starting to come through, there's potential knockout range here. Just one more clam here for Standby to get the 3-0, and they do, winning their round 4 set.
Honestly, I think that was the most impressive match that we saw from both of these teams here. Standby, of course, with a knockout that they weren't able to achieve in the past 2 games. That has got to feel good. But Octo Eclipse as well, they've seemed to learn throughout this set, and that's what I like to see through these Play L3 sets. You get the opportunity to see teams grow and start understanding, what is the working of our opponents. They figured out that Maze is likely to continue doing those flanks. I saw the strikes positioned to displace Pink Envy and to hopefully further that push so that they could get it up onto the ramp. They just weren't able to follow up in time. This is a really good learning opportunity for them. I really hope to see Octo Eclipse again.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And the nice thing is for Octo Eclipse, they came into the set 2-1, so that right now they're only 2-2. So they still have a great chance to punch their ticket into one of the brackets here on day 2. And as you mentioned, Low Ink itself is just a big experience here for learning. You play 6 sets throughout the entire day. All of them are Play L3 as well. So going into round 5, going into round 6, especially with how Octo Eclipse was getting better towards the end, would feel pretty scared of them if you're one of their opponents in those last 2 rounds. Same here for Standby, with such great momentum here for them. After losing, I believe, their round 1 set, they've been able to just go on through the entire way. 3 sets straight to go 3-1 going into round 5.